Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Back of the Pack here on the Backmarkers podcast, rated 5 stars on Apple Podcasts by Carbonzo Bean 3. They say, love the pod. I'm a day one Backmarkers podcast fan. Please do more impressions. Thank you, Carbonzo Bean 3, for the lovely review. And today we're going to be discussing the totally normal Canadian Grand Prix that had no drama whatsoever, along with a little bit of Le Mans talk sprinkled in there. But anyways, let's get right into it with our clowns and crowns of the week. Zane, lead us off.
For sure. Yeah, interesting race. You described it all right there. My clown of the week is just Lando Norris. You know, just that one move. It's like I don't know where he was trying to go. I don't know. It was like
We don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it. I'm just letting you know, clown.
Yeah,
all right.
I got you.
My crown of the weekend, though, I feel like it's fairly solid shout. George Russell, standard. What about
Gotta do it. I actually thought you were gonna take Kim Antonelli.
Hey, I was considering it.
When I put mine, I put somebody different, and then you didn't take Kimmy. So, anyways, do you have anything to say about George Russell other than just drove a brilliant race?
Yeah, he talked the talk and he walked the walk.
That is true. That is very true. Anyways, before I get into my clown and crown, for the audio only listeners, you can't see this, but Zane is repping the New York Knicks this time instead of myself. So lovely to see. I wish I would have known. I would have worn my jersey.
Yeah, you'll never catch us slacking. There'll always be at least one of us with like a Knicks related thing attached to us.
Got it. Yeah. Next episode, I'll wear my hat. Anyways. Yeah, my clown is going to also have to be Lando Norris for no particular reason whatsoever. I just felt like doing that. Just had a feeling, you know what I mean? But the crown, I'm giving it to Kimi Antonelli because, I mean, not only did he score his first podium, but he scored it in a way that is very respectable. He had 2 papaya-colored sharks just ready to chomp him up. And he balled out. He withstood all the pressure, and for an 18-year-old kid, not too bad at all.
Big boy drive.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I want to get into Lando Norris, but I don't want people to click off this podcast in 5 minutes. So we're going to get into the Canada weekend, but we're going to save Lando Norris for last. First off, we're going to start chronologically. FP1, Charles Leclerc has a pretty stupid crash at turn 4, I think is technically what it is. It's either 3 or 4. I don't know.
Yeah, it's whole mix.
But tell me about your experience. Did you watch that live?
I see it live. I mean, I don't watch the free practices live, to be honest. But I just saw the crash itself, and yeah, it's just one of them things that just sets the tone for the rest of the weekend. You just know when something like that's going to happen. Vintage Ferrari, you know, we're going back to our heritage with this one. And yeah, just lost control, I suppose.
Yeah, well, he lost control and then chose not to take the runoff.
Yeah.
Don't really know what he was thinking there, but yeah, you're kind of right. It did set the tone for the rest of the weekend. But another interesting thing that happened in FP1 was Yuki Tsunoda getting a pretty hefty penalty for overtaking Oscar Piastri, who was limping back to the pits under red flag conditions. I don't know really where to place the blame on this because I feel like this is a very niche incident that doesn't,
a gray area.
Doesn't really happen. Yeah, it's a gray area. And I want to know if you have a concrete opinion and if you watched the onboard and like saw what happened.
Yeah, no, that's what happened, but I think it's just one of them. It's just like it could have gone either way, the decision, if you know what I mean. So I wasn't completely shocked, but 10 places is heavy as fuck, man.
Yeah, I know. And actually, I'm going to pull up the Formula Racers Twitter because a number of drivers are currently being investigated for safety car infringements, And Yuki Tsunoda was quoted as saying they should all be penalized, which it was the likes of Piastri, Leclerc, Ocon, Sainz, 2 more that I'm forgetting, but I am just going to have it up throughout our recording because we're recording this at 5:12 p.m. EST. It's been about an hour since the race ended. So I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. So in case that breaks while we're recording, we will know. But anyways, I would say, I don't know. It's so tough because it's one thing to overtake under a red flag. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. But Oscar Piastri's car was broken.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't going fast, and Yuki just strolled on by him. So I think it's a pretty odd penalty, but at the end of the day, rules are rules. So I'm gonna have to say, like, it just sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah. I don't actually know what the safety car infringements are for the rest of the people, like the 7 drivers that have been noted. I don't really know what they did. I think it's overtaking under safety car, because I know it got broadcasted where George slams on the brakes, tries to pull a fast one on Max. Oh, he overtook me. Yeah. So if that, I don't think Max was in the list of people that was noted, but that would be insane if that actually happened. Anyways, we can move on to qualifying. So obviously, George Russell slams it on pole. Is there anything else? Because I didn't write anything else for qualifying here. So is there anything else that you can talk about with qualifying? I know Ferrari didn't have a great showing at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to make it all about Ferrari again like I always do. But
No, go ahead.
But for real, like, I was expecting after Q1 and Q2, I was confident going into Q3. Like, even Charles was saying that pole could have been possible. Not the case, in my opinion, but we actually looked decent. Like, I feel like if he had like, if he was able to get in a decent lap without like shitty dirty air from that flipping rat Hajar, who, after this weekend I've changed my opinion. Like, he's gone down a notch in my book since this weekend.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I reckon
because he impeded Carlos too, right?
Yeah. What was it in Q1? It would have been Q1. Yeah, it would have been Q1 because then signs went out. Then. Yeah, little bastard, man. I don't know who this guy thinks he is, but he is pretty sick though.
God. He's tanking his stock so he doesn't have to go to Red Bull. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Makes sense. Like, honestly, I'd probably do the same if I was him as well. I rate that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
unfortunate for Ferrari. Bro. And I mean, we'll come back to Lewis Hamilton, but not good. Not looking good for Lewis. Anyways, yeah. George Russell gets pole, and in the post-race or post-qualifying interviews, we get did we put this for George Russell quote of the week? I think we did, but there's a couple. Anyways, yeah. He hits us with the question, which I don't know if Nico Rosberg asked it. I don't know if he was interviewing for post-quali. Do you know if he was?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so Nico loves stirring up the drama, and we'll come back to Nico later. I love when Nico is at the race, but Nico Rosberg is like, I guess he asks something like, "Oh, you're gonna be able to take it to Max like in the race tomorrow on the start?" And he was like, "Well, I've got a few points on my license to play with, so." And he hit the like 3 times. Yeah. Like, you could tell he was like, that was cold.
He definitely left like a little bit of a pause there to get a bit of like crowd reaction as well. He like looked around.
The crowd lost it too. It was pretty funny. I won't lie. George Russell is a cornball like 85% of the time. That one had me laughing. I won't lie. That was very funny.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh God, Max was so sick of all the questions about the penalty points. It was perfect. It was perfect timing, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's about it for qualifying. Let's get into the race.
Yes.
First, let's talk about Alex Albon. This was a very bad race, and I wrote this bullet point before he had even retired, because we've been getting a lot of Alex Albon radio crash outs this season that we've never really gotten before. It's like, you all annoy me. Why do you never listen to me?
I don't like it.
In Japan, I think the worst one was in Japan. I was like, you literally are so stupid, or like something like that. Yeah, but poor Alex, man. It feels like Williams has really been slipping back, but Sainz was able to get a good result today, unlike Albon. But yeah, what is it? 3 DNFs for Albon, or 2?
Well, it was. I forgot.
So in Spain, he DNF'd. In Monaco, he was in 9th. So it's back-to-back DNFs, but. Yeah, no 3-time anything. So yeah, Alex Albon's had a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah,
And
especially like
that
since
kind of sucks
Imola.
because yeah, exactly. And I feel like that car, I don't know where to rank it because I feel like Aston Martin's taken a huge step forward. I think Sauber's taken a pretty big step
Yeah, for
forward.
real.
Yeah. So Williams might be towards the back of the pack again. I'm really not sure. But
Yeah, it's
the
tough to tell.
reliability, not great. Not great with that Williams. Because it was actually Carlos's engineer at the beginning of the race was, I don't know, you heard that radio, right? Where he was like, oh, the PU
Yeah,
is
yeah.
questionable. And that was Carlos. And then Alex's power unit failed. That's just, it's not good. And that's clearly not a Mercedes issue. It's clearly a Williams
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
So yeah, not too good for Alex Albon. What is this next bullet point you've got for me here, Zane?
Are you talking about the Russell little bastard thing?
Russell Lil Bastard. What do we got? What do we got for Russell Little Bastard?
I had that plan. I knew I wanted to mention about it as soon as it happened. Under the safety car towards the end, where he like brake test, where he didn't even brake test, he just braked heavily, and Verstappen naturally went past him.
Max overtook me. Max overtook me.
Max has overtaken me. Max overtaken me under the safety car. Mate, he was such a boss.
Like, it was a good try.
Yeah, no, it's a good try. Like, I applaud it. But if he was to get away with that, like, imagine if Max was to get handed a massive penalty for that.
Dude, that would have been so funny.
Especially where he was going to win anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it would have affected
just a
him.
smack in the face, just for no reason, just out of their beef. Would have been so funny. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I keep refreshing the Formula Racers Twitter. Nothing yet. So
would be so
anyways,
funny.
You've got another bullet point here. Tell me about these team orders.
Yeah, the team orders, man. I was thinking about this during the race because, like, I think even the commentators mentioned it as well. How, like, we had the whole, I mean, we can talk about this later, the whole Ferrari plan B, plan C thing. Yeah.
Oh, no, we can get into it. We can get into it right now if you'd like.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Okay, so, right, so, no. Listen, you've got, okay, the strategists saying, okay, it looks like we're going to be going for plan B, which is, is inferred as, okay, we're going to sort of, like, change the tyres and, like, yeah, whatever. And then Leclerc goes...
Well, now that we know, it was a two-stop.
Yeah. And then Leclerc's like, no, it's okay. I think we should go for plan C. Anyway, they bring Charles in, they put the hards on him, and then he's like, what the fuck, why have I got hards on? And they said, oh, well, we're going for plan B in the end. And then Leclerc's saying, well, I thought he was going for plan C. I said plan C was okay. Like, okay, so one of them just needs to grow a pair of balls, right? And just be like, okay, we're doing either plan B or plan C. And I don't want to put the blame on either one of them, okay? Because Leclerc, okay, if he was that, he could have been so insistent on doing this plan C, whatever it was, okay? And being like, no, I'm not coming in. Or like, yeah, I'm going in, but like put the mediums or whatever. I don't know. Okay, whatever plan C is, be insistent on it. Or you've got these little beta strategists, yeah, who, I don't know, just make your mind up. Okay, fair enough, you decided to go for plan B in the end. But at least tell the guy. At least tell him what he's doing, man. It's so shit. Like who is hiring these people? You know what I mean? Who is hiring these people? These people, yeah, they fully sat down. they took time out of their day. They left their old job to go for a job interview for Ferrari as a strategist, yeah. They fully they did that application online and everything, yeah. They got an interview, they sat down, they answered all the interview questions, and they somehow still got the job, okay? Who's letting these people in? Ferrari, if you're looking for a new HR administrator, I've got no experience in the field, but I can damn sure do a better job than you're doing. So that's
go off, my Italian Tifosi king. I agree, because I was watching that and they were like, plan B, and he was like, no, plan C, and they were like, copy, and then they pull him in, and and then he's just like, what the fuck, dude? That was very funny. That was very classic Ferrari. I mean, they just cannot.
Yeah.
They cannot have a normal race.
Yeah, no.
I swear to God.
I'm just used to it. Like, these things don't get a reaction out of me anymore until I sit down and actually analyze it afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they had a good strategy, that's when you would be like, all right, guys, what are we doing here? We're gonna somehow get a penalty from this.
Yeah, exactly. Something fishy's going on over here.
Exactly.
What are you really up to?
Yeah, this mustn't be true.
Um,
Anyways,
so yeah.
Next bullet point. Explain this.
Yeah, fuck it. Danica Patrick, right?
Danica Patrick.
Danica, bro. I don't know. Danica Patrick, right?
Danica Patrick.
Let me tell y'all one time about Danica Patrick.
Yeah, can I hear the entire spiel about Danica Patrick has to be in an American accent?
Yo, for sure, dude. Like, I'm saying like what the fuck is this motherfucker on about? Get what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to listen to some decent Formula One coverage by flipping Nico Rosberg and them guys over there, just my dudes, you know. And I'm hearing this.
My dudes.
and I'm hearing these motherfuckers going on about. She said some shit like, "It's not a great year if you're not doing good." Like, what the fuck's that on? Like, you know what I mean? Danica, like, what the hell,
He's
man?
trying to do the accent, and he can't take away the British cadences. Like, what's this motherfucker on about? Anyways, you can drop the accent. I do actually want to hear, because I watch F1 TV, you watch Sky, and I did not hear anything from Danica Patrick, which was
okay. Well,
knowing that she was on there now, I'm very relieved that I watched.
Yeah, mate. I don't blame you. Like, I don't want to hate people in these sort of positions, because I know it's like, you know, it requires a lot of research, I suppose. It requires a lot of stuff. You know, you've got to be confident to talk and shit. But she's very confident, okay, in saying that the Canadian Grand Prix is an easy track.
Tough talk from the worst NASCAR driver in history. Literally the worst NASCAR driver in history. In a title-winning car, and could not do shit with it. No, literally. And she also like believes in lizard people. She's weirdly political, and I'm not even going to get into that, but Danica Patrick, you suck. Everyone hates you. Don't stay in NASCAR. Go talk about NASCAR. Go talk about the ARCA series. Go talk about Indy Lights. Don't talk about F1 like you know at all what's going on. Like, yeah, she won. Did she win a race in IndyCar? She did well in IndyCar for a few years. You threw that all away to go to NASCAR, and look where you are now. You're getting paid to do one-off F1 races among whatever else you're doing, talking about lizard people on Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
So if you want to come on the podcast, Danica, feel free to hit my line, and I would love to talk about it. You think that'll work?
It would be interesting.
Anyways, I'm glad we got a classic, like, Will Buxton style quote. It's not a great year if you're not doing good.
Yeah.
Brilliantly said. Brilliantly put from
I was sat there, you know, that was a very thought-provoking phrase that she came up with there. You know, I sat and pondered about that phrase for a good couple of minutes.
Oh man, I can't get over the American accent. That was amazing. So I'll have to throw on a British accent later in the podcast. So next bullet point here, we got just some Lewis Hamilton banter up next, because Lewis was nowhere to be found really all weekend. He did nothing. Did he finish? I think he finished in the points, right?
Yeah. No, he finished.
Like what, 7th, if I had to guess?
No.
6th.
Yeah. Leclerc 5th, Hamilton 6th. Yeah.
Honestly, pretty good showing for Ferrari, considering everything else that happened.
Yeah. But I feel like it just annoys me, because I feel like the potential was there, especially like, you know, after like the first quali sessions, race pace, we always seem okay with our race pace. So yeah, I just feel like we could have got more out of that.
Yeah, I wish either him or Lando had gone for the one stop, because they were both in position.
Yeah.
And then they both pussied out of it, which sucked.
Yeah. But Hamilton.
Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah,
didn't qualify too well. Did he go out in Q2? I can't remember.
Well,
yeah, he qualified 5th.
Yeah.
Better than Leclerc. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Lewis Hamilton did bad this whole time.
Well, it was just a bit of an NPC race from him. Just like, he just didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know for the race that he didn't really do much. I don't know why I thought he qualified worse than he did. Anyways, yeah. Well, Lewis didn't do as bad as I thought, but yeah, it was just kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
All race
Yeah, he
long,
even said so, yeah.
So let's start getting into the topics that people care about. First up, we're going to talk a little bit more about Kimi Antonelli on the podium. Now, I know we already touched on how he did really well, but being able to fend off Oscar Piastri for what? It was like 10 laps.
Yeah.
Like, he did an amazing job being able to keep Oscar. Like, he was able to get the perfect traction out of the hairpin turn 10 every time, to the point where Oscar wasn't going to be able to get him. And Oscar's a very good driver in pursuit. He's usually very good at throwing down moves and catching people sleeping. Yeah. But Kimi kept it wrapped up. He did a good job.
Yeah.
He got the podium.
Even put a bit of pressure on Verstappen at one point as well. Even tried going for the overtake.
That is true. The whole end of the race, it could have been so much better.
It was getting all set up.
I'm not complaining about what happened. Yeah. But yeah, everyone was right there. It could have been so good.
Yeah,
it could have been so good.
Laps.
Everyone was just a half second closer.
Yeah.
It would have been so good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, sick display from Kimi. Yeah. Like 18 years old, it's still mad, you know what I mean? Like I think of me at 18 years old. And he's there like trying to overtake Verstappen, fending off 2 McLarens. Respect.
Yeah. Respect.
He still looks 12 though, which is like what makes it even more crazy. You know what I mean? Like when you look at him, he doesn't look like an 18-year-old that's like fully developed, if you know what I mean.
No, he looks like 15.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, anyway.
All right.
Glad I got that off my chest.
Is it time to delve in?
I think we just go for it.
Let's do it. Lap, what was it? 65, 66, something like that. I think maybe the beginning of lap 67 is when it happened. Well, let's backtrack to the hairpin. Lando throws a monster dive bomb into the hairpin, and it was a very good move.
Yeah.
I liked it. The first time, I can't remember, I think it was into the final chicane, like a couple laps earlier. He like looked at it, was gonna go for the move, and then he backed out. And I was just literally screaming, pussy, pussy, at my TV. I was so pissed because I was like, dude, this race is going to suck. This podcast episode is going to suck. And I was like, dude, something has to happen. Either Oscar has to catch Kimi or Lando's got to catch Oscar. And it's not looking like Oscar's going to catch Kimi. But then it ended up Oscar did catch Kimi. But then a couple laps later, like I said, Lando dive bombs into the hairpin and sets in motion this chain reaction. They're side by side down the quote-unquote back straight-ish, whatever, the longest straight. And what did you think was going to happen there? Did you think that Lando had it at that point? Because they both had DRS.
Yeah. No, I think after that second straight, I thought it's just Piastri's since then. You know what I mean?
I saw that Oscar had to defend into the chicane and Lando got the better line. So I didn't think it was over. And I did think that Lando was going to get him into one. But anyways, they exit the chicane. Lando has another monster run on, like, dude, I don't think people understand how good this run was. Being able to come out of the chicane and be side by side by the finish line while both people have DRS, that is insane. Lando nailed the exit. But you know what he also nailed?
Himself to the wall.
Well, I was gonna say Oscar Piastri's back left, but yeah, that too. He nailed a plethora of things. He went for a gap. You know what does Senna say, Zane? Let's hear that quote real quick.
I want to get it word for word. The day you don't go for a gap is the day you're no longer a Formula 1 driver. No, I fucked it. All right, go on.
If you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer racing.
Yeah, it's the exists thing. Yeah.
The gap did not exist, okay? And I watched both of these onboards so many times after the race. And we actually don't get Oscar Piastri's front-facing camera. We get the back, which was annoying to me. Because I thought maybe there's a possibility that he lifted. I don't know. The audio does not seem to suggest that Oscar lifted, and it doesn't look like he made any snaps. But I'm going into this unbiased and level-headed. And I'm trying to figure out if it was 100% Lando's fault or if there was a little bit of foul play. It was 100% Lando's fault. Upon further review, flag on the play, we sent it to New York. It was 100% Lando's fault. And it hurts, dude. Yeah. I felt so bad. Tell me about, what was your reaction to all this?
No, but I don't want to sound...
Are you laughing?
I don't want to sound anti-sportive, you know what I mean?
No, go ahead. I'm sure my Discord server was worse.
I was watching it with the female, and...
okay.
And like when it happened, I think she was like a bit worried or whatever. She's like Ferrari fan like me, obviously, but she's got more feelings, if you know what I mean. So I think she was like, "Oh no!" And I just started shouting like, "Gordo, Gordo," which basically means like, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. And then,
I mean, that's fair. That's basically like if I put myself in those shoes, that'd be like me seeing Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Collide.
Exactly.
I would have enjoyed that.
Exactly. But then like, what made me sort of like, what made me reflect is that you see like when it happened, he didn't get out of the car immediately or whatever. He stopped there. He sat there for like a good minute, it seemed like. And I think in his head, he was trying to think of like all the potential excuses that he could use to be like, oh shit, like, but there was a little bit of a gap there. I swear there was a gap.
There's no way.
But then in the end, he was just like, yeah, nah, fuck that. And they just got up and was like, yeah, sorry guys.
My fault, gang.
Yeah,
which people are all saying like, oh, he took accountability for once. He always takes accountability. He's always like, oh, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Every time. I don't understand why people are shocked that he's saying that the crash is his fault. He says that every time.
Yeah.
Because he has an inferiority complex. He's a masochist. Isn't that what that means? He gets off on being humiliated.
Okay.
That's Lando Norris. He is a masochist. And I do good shit. Like, it was obviously your fault. I don't know what else people were expecting. Obviously, he was going to... I mean, imagine if he didn't say that it was his fault. Oh, Oscar chopped the cross. Like, read him and weep, Lando. It was right there in front of you. And I get it. Like, personally, I expected Oscar to move. I was very surprised when Lando had that much speed that Oscar did not move. And he doesn't have any reason to, but I don't know. Just the whole thing was very weird.
I was going to say, I'm so glad that we finally got to see some like McLaren on McLaren action. Like some racing between them. It didn't last that long. It lasted a couple corners, but it was good to see. It was good to see.
Yeah. What do we think about these Rosberg and Hamilton comparisons that are going to be made very soon?
I don't know. I think it's a different... I don't know. Maybe it's just like an era thing, but it just seems like that same level of competitiveness isn't there. I feel like Lando he rolls over too easy, if you know what I mean. Like, if he knows that Piastri is better than him, as much as he will try to put up a fight, when was it in like Barcelona, if I remember him well, where he was where he wanted to get past or something, but like, there's not many episodes where like Lando sort of like really like retaliates and sort of like tries to whip his balls out in front of Oscar. It's sort of just like almost a bit too friendly at this point. But I don't know. Like, do you think that this weekend is when Piastri basically just like beats Norris this season? You know what I mean?
I actually think, and this is a hot take, I think it's the opposite. I think Lando's fired up. Yeah? I think at this point he's like, all right, fuck it. I gotta go ball out. Like, it's now or never. He is now down 28
I would have thought more
points in the championship. I think it's 28. Right. Let me see. So 198 to 176. So it's 22.
Okay. Wow.
22 points in the championship, and he is 20. He's 21 ahead of Max. So he is closer to Max in the championship than he is to Oscar. Oscar only got 12 points today.
I suppose so, yeah.
Which is not like a shit ton. Yeah. So, yeah. That's my hot take of the week, is that Lando comes back with a vengeance. And he's very good at Austria historically. I think he takes the win in Austria, but we don't need to get too far. Well, Austria predictions are next episode. Yeah. But I do think that Lando, he's got a fire lit under his ass now. And I think he's either going to ball out or it's going to be rough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You go one of...
And I have faith. I have faith that he's going to ball out for some reason. I don't know why. I have no evidence to back it other than vibes.
I can fully understand that.
Yeah, exactly. You're a Ferrari fan. You live off of vibes.
Yeah, we don't go by logic, just hope and vibes. Yeah, literally is.
So, what do you think? I want to stay on this Lando Norris crash a little longer. On the social media aspect, how do you think this is going to affect Lando Norris? And how often do you think he's going to check social media?
Oh, he's obviously going to check social media like every 3 milliseconds, you know what I mean? And I think he's just...
Yeah, I think... God, if someone just takes his phone away...
He's like family time. You're like, I don't know, like back in the day, like when I used to have an Xbox 360, my dad used to put like what was called like family time on it, where it's like you only get 2 hours, and then after that you have to like, you just can't play, it just blocks itself. Someone needs to do that to his phone, like lock his phone in a cage or something. And then you'll see his results get better.
Literally. I agree. Let him go outside and just learn how to meditate or something, bro. I need you to ball out. That would be crazy for the plot. I need a Lando Oscar title fight. I don't even care who wins. I really don't. I just want a good fight. And Lando, you're not providing. Well, today it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty entertaining.
He went for it today. Fair play.
He did, and I respect it. And like a lot of people said on the broadcast, it's those millisecond moments. Like, sure, he made a bad decision, and like, oh, Lando Norris bottles. But I don't hate it. He was going for the inside line. It was a daring move, and I feel like if it was a lot of other drivers, they would have moved.
Yeah.
And it would have been a great race. It would have been a great battle. But Oscar's just like, hell's this guy doing? You know what I mean? I'm not moving. You can crash into me. I'm number one, dog.
Yeah, Sigma male. That's what it is, mate.
He really is, dude. He's the Sigma. I'm telling you.
I feel like...
All right. Do we want to move on, or do you have any more?
12-year-olds whenever we go on about like Sigma and Beta and alpha.
Yeah, dude. Sense. Oscar Piastri is the Skibbity Sigma, and Lando Norris is the... Fuck, I don't know.
Next question.
Next point. Moving on. Nico Rosberg. We're going to talk a little bit more about Nico Rosberg as a commentator and why we love him. Dude, I don't know if you watched the podium interviews or the post-race. Dude, he was hammering George and Kimi. Like, so Mercedes is back? Yeah. Is that what we're saying here? Is Mercedes back? Are we saying Mercedes is back?
Win in Austria?
And they're both just like, no. Like, I don't know. It's just, dude, that's what he did with the Max and George thing in qualifying. Nico is an absolute treat
I love him
to have on the grid. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. He will say anything to get any head. Like, I'm convinced he works for like The Guardian or something just to get the best headline possible. Russell claims Mercedes is back and going to win the world championship after exclusive post-race interview with Nico Rosberg. That's his goal every time, and I love it. I'm trying to think of other examples where he's done that.
But he's definitely that one guy in school that was always like, personally, I wouldn't take that. Like whenever some sort of like drama happens, he always wants to stir the pot.
Oh yeah. Me, I'm squaring up. But like, would you?
Yeah, exactly. No, I love him.
But like, I'm not gonna like tell them what you say or anything. But like, would you square up? Like, would you fight him?
Like, he's got to be like probably the most fun German I've ever met. Well, not that I've met him, but you know what I mean.
I don't really know a lot of German people.
He goes like very much against the stereotype of German people.
What is the stereotype of German people, Zane? Please tell me what a stereotype of German people is.
No. I think like it's a very... They'll even admit it themselves. that they're more sort of just like serious, very square, mathematical, no time for joking. They're all about efficiency. Like everything in Germany is about like efficiency. But he's like the opposite of that. You know what I mean? Like he's in for a bit of gossip. He's in for like a bit of tomfoolery.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really know shit about German people other than history.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
but
there's a lot of tomfoolery.
Nico Hulkenberg is not really. Yeah, like Nico Hulkenberg is kind of a not really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's like the classic German in my opinion.
Kind of exists. So, how do we rate this race out of 10?
I'm saying low-key a 4 because realistically, the entire race was fairly boring. Even the strategy wasn't even that interesting in my opinion, especially where we just fucked it up anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing that sort of like redeems it is like 2 points for Kimi getting a podium. I like that. No, actually, no, 1 point for Kimi getting a podium. 1 point for George winning and just being George and just, yeah. And then 2 points for Norris, Piastri gate. So brings it to 4.
That is very fair. I'm going to give it a 5 just because it reminded me a lot of Japan 2024 until the crash. Like it was kind of just a strategy chess game kind of race where people were on different strategies and that's literally all that happened. But yeah, I mean, the McLaren crash was insane. It saved this race from being an absolute snoozer. Yeah. And George Russell winning is cool. Kimi Antonelli on the podium is also cool. Yeah. And Nico Rosberg prodding both of them to say that Mercedes is back is also
exactly.
But it's a shame that there wasn't more George v. Max.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there was another 5 laps, I probably would have given an extra point to it. We would have seen some like proper racing for the last couple of laps as well. But yeah, like I hate when races end under a safety car.
It really is the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like
should have red flagged.
Yeah, for real.
I feel like if a race is under 6 laps to go, and some fuck shit happens, it should be a mandatory red flag. Yeah. Just for the vibes. Just to get some more racing going.
Oh well, what can we do?
Oh well, exactly. Yeah, so all right. Zane gives it a 4. I give it a 5. The Canadian Grand Prix did not live up to the hype that was created last year. But out of a snooze race, we did get some great headlines. And Lando Norris crashing into the back of Oscar Piastri was insane. I won't lie. But debatably more importantly than this whole race is the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Did you watch it?
I watched snippets of it. One thing about like...
How many hours would you say you watched?
Probably like in total, probably about, honestly, 3 hours. Because the thing is with me, is at the beginning... Right, I was like so invested in it. I was loving it, and then after a while, I thought, okay, I'm obviously not gonna watch the whole 24 hours. That's when I decided to like stop. But I don't know if it's just like something that I've got personally, but it irritates me that I don't know what's going on. And as soon as I just like lose focus of it, I just I struggle to get back into it. So I literally just watch like a couple hours towards the beginning, and then I just watch from like 2 p.m. onwards. Well, yeah, for our time. Just watch like the last hour or so. But yeah, what about you?
I watched probably 15 or 16 hours of this race.
Respect.
Yeah, I had literally nothing else to do yesterday, and I was watching with my dad because it's Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I was watching it with my dad for basically all afternoon, and then I watched it on my phone before I went to bed, woke up with about an hour left, watched the last hour. I only really missed probably from like 7 to go. Nah, like 8 to go to an hour to go. I think that's about what I missed. It was a shame that the racing wasn't as close, but your boys, the Scuderia. Well, no, is this even Scuderia Ferrari technically? I don't even think it is. It's Ferrari AF Corsa. Yeah, but 3 in a row, each car got a win. That's sick. Yeah, I don't know, man. Le Mans scratches an itch for me. I don't know if it's like... I don't know what's wrong with me, but endurance racing, I don't know. It's something special. I love it so much. I don't like the 6-hour races. I don't like the 12s. 24-hour races are so cool.
Yeah.
They are so fun for me to watch. I can't even explain why. I genuinely think it's like some ADHD shit. Just like the traffic and just like the different classes racing and just like, oh, it's so cool. I loved watching Le Mans. It's a shame that the race wasn't closer. Like I was hoping that I was rooting for Cadillac at the beginning when they started on pole, and then it was very evident that Cadillac did not have the pace. So I was rooting for BMW for a little while. Then it looked like the 8 Toyota with Sebastian Buemi, Sebastian Bourdais, or no, is Bourdais in Ferrari? I don't watch WEC enough, but I know Buemi was in the number 8 Toyota Gazoo. That fell away while I was asleep. I was hoping the Toyota could maybe take it to the Ferraris, but woke up and the Toyota was in like 18th. So
it was a good weekend for flipping Porsche. They did all right.
Oh yeah, they won the GT3 class with the Manthey 911, and then they got second. Yeah, they got second in the overall with dude Kevin Estra. Never heard of that guy in my life. He's a dog.
What a guy.
Dude, he is a dog. He was flying at the beginning because they started at the back of the pack, which was insane. And he put that car in like 5th by the end of the first stint. I was like, holy shit, this guy's insane. And it's always funny seeing Nick DeVries back in a race car.
Mate, I watched him in Formula E last year, and it's tragic. It's tragic.
Formula E sucks. Le Mans is cool because the cars are actually cool. They don't look like fucking like kites. Formula E cars look like kites. They're just diamonds.
It's weird.
Except
it's weird. It's just the noise, the lack of noise, I should say.
Oh,
it's odd.
It is very odd.
But it's also the one cool thing about Formula E though is that, like, you know how in like Formula 1, if they get like a slight amount of damage to like the front wing or whatever, they're changing it immediately. Yeah. In Formula E, they're that close that they don't give a shit. Like, you know, they will have like a tyre hanging off, but they'll just carry on anyway because it's still moving. That's the one cool thing about it.
Dude, that's honestly lit. Yeah, we know what I was pissed about with Le Mans? They didn't show enough of the Valkyrie because that thing sounded beautiful. I don't know if you ever heard it on the broadcast. No. It sounded like a 90s F1 car.
Oh, shit.
Because it's got a V12 in it, and they took the muffler off. And it sounded incredible.
I'll have to find that.
It was so good.
Did you hold the...
I don't think there was a single moment all race where the Astons got like dedicated camera time because they were in like 17th the whole race. But if there was a battle going on and the Astons were like around it, you could hear it. And it was amazing. And I was so happy whenever I heard it.
Did you hold a 1 minute silence for that, like, that groundhog that they killed or something?
Oh yeah, they ran... Yeah, the WRT BMW... ran over a rabbit.
Yeah, a rabbit.
No, the commentators were so funny during the night stint. They were just like, because they were like trying to figure out if the BMW was going to retire. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, we don't know if that's going to retire, but the rabbit definitely did. And then they're like, all right, we're going to have a minute silence for the rabbit. And then like 2 seconds later, they just started laughing. It was so funny.
No, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other moments from Le Mans that I really enjoyed.
Well, did you not see me?
The Iron Dames went out, which was... Well, yeah, I did post that story saying shout out to our co-host Zane Sewell taking Ferrari to the win. Well, you didn't win, but
in the past,
Gio took him to either 3rd or 4th. I don't remember.
In the past 24 hours, I got so many comments just like under like random videos, even videos that I made like a month ago, just being like, wait, aren't you meant to be in Le Mans right now, driving for Ferrari?
I couldn't resist, dude. I knew that people were going to say it, but I had to post that story.
Respect.
Just congratulations to Zane. Good luck. I was hoping... Well, no, I wasn't. I was hoping... Out of all the Ferraris, I did want the AF Course 83 to take the win. So I was a little less disappointed than I would have been if, like, the 50 or the 51, the Works cars had won.
Yeah.
But... yeah, it's whatever. Yeah. It was really funny to see you out there.
Yeah, no, it was good.
How was it?
Yeah, it was a good experience. Like, a bit tiring. Like 24 hours is pretty long. Like lack of sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I see you shaved before the show.
Yeah.
You had
Exactly.
a little stubble going on.
Exactly. Like 24 hours is a long time. I just grew a beard in that time, so I was like, shit, I've got to get that shit off. But yeah.
Props.
Yeah.
Also, before we stop talking about Le Mans, shout out to Robert Kubica. That's the GOAT.
What a guy.
He has now won Le Mans. Has he won in Monaco? Is he now one win away from the Triple Crown? He is not. Okay, never mind. He's not getting the Triple Crown. But it's chill.
He's like such like a what could have been in Formula One.
I know, dude. He got fucked up in 2007 Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Came back and won the next year. I'm pretty sure that was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the right time.
Something like that. Yeah.
So 07 where he crashed, and then 08 where he won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, as we start wrapping things up a little bit here, we're gonna come back to the George Russell quotes plural of the week. So the first one we've got here, as we said, is where he said, "I've got a couple more points on my license to play with." So, dude, he said it so many. I was like, George, like you're gonna ruin the bit. Like, stop saying so. We heard you the first time. The crowd's laughing. Just keep talking. Just don't. Just learn how to quit while you're up. Definitely took away a little bit of the oomph on the third so, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And then what was he after the race? With good days.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Something like that.
Also, something that I don't know why it pissed me off. Like, it really shouldn't have pissed me off, but like at the end of the race when he was like celebrating on the team radio, or whatever, and he goes like, "Well done, Kimmy." I was like, I just wanted to say like, I don't know why it really pissed me off.
Well done to Kimmy.
Yeah. It's just like
something like that.
Okay, yeah, like it's a nice thing. Like, okay, like everyone else would probably do it, but I just know how in his head right now he's probably seeing himself as sort of like a father figure thing, and it's so cringe.
Yeah,
like, it's definitely
motherfucker. You don't have a contract for next year. Stop talking big until you sign one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good job, Kimmy. No. Why don't you start worrying about your job, Mr. Russell? Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying like, good job, kiddo.
I don't know where
what I
that
mean?
came from. Yeah, good job, you little bitch. P3, that's cute. You know who's in P1? Your daddy, George Russell. Like,
that's
bro,
getting clipped. That's
not cool, man. No, it's dude. I mean, you're the one who does the clips.
Shit, yeah. So that would be getting clipped.
Whatever. What can I do? What can a guy do? Okay, so the rest of this outline was copy and pasted from like 3 weeks ago. I didn't change it, but we do have our Canada predictions down here.
Yeah,
and we can go back and look. Which I'm gonna double check right now. I think I got both of my predictions right. Nope, I did not get the 5 DNFs right, but I did get a non-McLaren win right. That's what I said.
Yeah. So,
non-McLaren win. I was right.
Exactly. You went one for.
Oh, you said Kimmy Podium.
I said Kimmy Podium.
Look at us.
I said Kimmy Podium.
Let's go.
And do you know what you said to me?
We just need to combine powers.
Do you know what you said to me when I said that?
What did I say?
That ain't happening, dude. That ain't happening, man.
Yeah, that ain't happening, dude. I'm sorry, that's not happening, mate. I can't do it, dude. For the next episode, we should just do the entire thing in the other person's
Yeah, exactly.
accent.
Just like switch.
That would be probably the worst thing to listen to possibly ever. One of my buddies just got back from like a month-long trip in Europe, and he's just like, he thinks he knows how to do the English accent like perfectly now. I'm just like, dude, all he knows how to say is like, "You what, mate?" And then like, bollocks. I don't even think he knows bollocks. Just like, crikey.
The thing is, you're not actually that bad. You're not actually that bad. Like,
what, mine?
Yeah. Like, I feel like you could get away with it. Like, if you was going to Greg's and ask for a sausage roll, you could probably do it, and they wouldn't question you.
Well, I want to get like an angry, like rural British accent. That's what I want to master. Like fucking George Russell has just fucking won the Canadian Grand Prix, and I can't fucking stand it.
That's like more northern.
That's what I would want.
Like slightly northern.
Well, like, dude, I wish I could do Scottish too. That shit is so funny.
I ain't even gonna try.
Like a heavy Scottish accent is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, right.
Like, I need commentary in a Scottish accent.
Geordie. I don't know. Let's not get down that rabbit hole.
Like, having David Coulthard on F1 TV is very fun. I love it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I did say though that I would do a Dr. Doofenshmirtz impression.
Oh yeah, you did. Shit.
I just remembered that. Fuck.
Go on.
Okay. Oh God. All right. Dude, I haven't done this in a long time.
It's fine. I'm ready whenever you are.
Audio only. I'm working up. Okay.
Yeah, audio only. He's basically just getting like his top. What the fuck was that?
Perry the Platypus, my arch nemesis. That's how he pronounces it. Thank you. Do you want me to do the outro in the Dr. Doofenshmirtz impression?
I'm actually impressed. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Backmarkers podcast. We really appreciate everybody who listens to this show. And we really appreciate the 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, like the one by Carbanzo Bean 3. So be sure to leave a... Dude, I'm done. I can't.
No.
Oh my God.
My question is, when did you figure out that, and how did you figure out that you had this talent?
Alcohol was definitely...
Okay.
I won't lie. I definitely did it drunk. Because there's nothing more that I love than to get drunk and try and do impressions that I know that I'm probably not going to be able to do until one lands. That is my favorite thing. Disney, hire me. Okay? Anyways, Zane, do you have any other final remarks? I know I just kind of did the outro out of nowhere.
No, I mean, I'm going to have to bring some sort of impression to the table next week. You know, I'm going to have to start practicing a week. Shit.
Oh, God. Okay, well... Ladies and gentlemen, there's no McDonald's bag of ice here today. No fast food talk, but you did get a Dr. Doofenshmirtz impression, and my vocal cords are shot. I'm not doing it anymore. But thank you all for listening to this Canadian Grand Prix debrief episode / Le Mans / Lando Norris epiphany bad moment thing. Be sure to leave a comment and tell us how you liked my Dr. Doofenshmirtz impression and... what you thought about the Lando crash or the Kimi podium, or what your pick is for George Russell quote of the week. So with that being said, again, thank you to everyone for listening, and we will... Zane has a thing.
This week, I promise I'll actually put the question box thing so we can get viewer questions for next week. I just forgot this.
Oh, yeah, we do have another gap week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll be doing... Fuck, dude. God, I lose brain cells doing those episodes.
We'll bring something decent to the table. We'll bring like something regimented.
We'll do the questions. We'll get some clips out. And yeah, like I said, leave a comment and do whatever the fuck that I said. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Goodbye.